Who is set to win the ACC when it comes to football this season? We are going to talk about why the Clemson Tigers have all the chips and the cards on the table to do just that, win the ACC. But there are people who are going to say, wait a whole second. I beg to differ. Maybe some people from NC State. Let's talk to them here on today's show.
You are Locked On ACC, your daily podcast on the Atlantic Coast Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's edition of Locked On ACC. I'm your host, Candace Cooper. Thank you so much for joining and making us your first listen each and every day. We also have the homie Kenton Gibbs in the building every Monday. He joins us, and we make sure that we give you guys a really good show overall. A lot of good takes, is more importantly, very real content. Kenton Gibbs, happy Monday. It's been a long time.
It has. It's been too long. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I tweeted Rock Chalk one time after Kansas beat UNC in the national championship, and I'll get invited back on the show. Yeah, I mean, I was a joke. Okay, it was a joke, but I'm glad to be back. I really am.
I just needed a little bit of a break and a little time to myself to get things in order, but I'm happy to be back and making sure that I give this hilarious guy all of the stage that he needs going into each week. Now, there's a lot to discuss here on the show, right? We got a lot to talk about. We haven't had a chance to catch up really since the basketball championships kind of went underway, which was very interesting. Of course, you being the NC State guy with the women's basketball front doing their thing, coming up a little short, but still having a really good season. We've seen some off-season stuff with Alyssa Cunane, Raina Perez, all that and what have you. And we could have a whole dissertation on WNBA, but that's not why we're here today, folks. We're here because, NC State, they might be a little bit good at football this season. Not even going to hold you. However, when it comes to conference futures bets, BetOnline is saying 2/3 is going towards Clemson. And I just want to hear maybe the argument as to why we need to hold on 1 second that Clemson might not even win the division. So let's start with the fact that Clemson is set to be the number one team in the ACC, and they're going to win the ACC, according to BetOnline.
Did something happen at Clemson that we don't know about?
I mean, a lot has happened at Clemson. Brett Venables left, their defensive coordinator. They had a lot of internal hires who, for better, Tony Elliott, their offensive coordinator, left. They have a lot of internal hires that they're saying could do the job. But, Dabo Swinney we're going to force his hand a little bit when it comes to some playmaking this season.
I'm very confused. Did something happen with their weapons offensively that we just don't know about?
Transfer portal is looking a little dicey. We haven't had any big superstars join, but you haven't had too many superstars who have stayed who are going to really shake things up. DJ Uiagaleilei is definitely going to be the same guy.
Well, let me ask you this, Ms. Cooper, because you know what? I don't.
We can break it down. Yeah.
I don't just want to say statements because that's what the fans have been telling me I do too much of. I say too many statements and I don't give you enough time to talk. So I'm gonna give you the time to talk. I'm gonna ask you some questions and I'm gonna let you get into it.
Who said that?
Listen, I'm not gonna name no names. I'm gonna give you the latitude to talk today. So let me ask you this. I asked you, has Clemson done anything with their weapons on the offensive side of the ball doing it?
Sure.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Have they figured out their quarterback situation?
It's going to be DJ.
It's going to be DJ. Okay, has DJ figured out how to throw the ball? Because the videos I saw him from the spring game, baby, I could get out there and do that. DJ.
Listen,
Bojangles, sponsor me. I know I done ate more Bojangles than DJ, and I know I can throw a ball better than that. Bojangles, holla at your boy. Come on.
Do you drink enough Dr. Pepper, though? That might be.
Dr. Pepper. I thought you were going to say sweet tea. Yeah, I drink all the Dr. Pepper. My skin used to be crazy looking off the Dr. Pepper. Bojangles, holla at me. But anywho,
you don't even like Bojangles. Let's start there. But that's another story for another day.
Why you coming from my bag? Why you?
Okay.
Mary J said no hateration nor holleration in this dancery, and you bring it both. So DJ hasn't figured out how to throw the ball according to the spring game.
Okay, but wait, let's step back. Was Tony Elliott holding DJ back and he just needed a new offensive coordinator to get better? Okay, listen. Okay, take the headphones off because I'm just trying to have an honest conversation here.
So Tony Elliott being gone the whole offseason and DJ having people are thinking I'm talking about just the one pass attempt that was horrible. Just the one that I'm not talking about the one. Because everybody has a bad throw or two in spring. Devin Leary threw an interception in the spring game. Tyler Van Dyke has some passes that just.
What are you looking for in the spring game that makes you say, "Oh, he's going to have a horrible season"?
I'm looking for his mechanics to get notably better. I'm looking for the mechanics of it all. It is not whether or not DJ has the talent. We know that he's got the legs. We know that he's got a big arm. We know all that stuff. Are the mechanics, the little things, the turning off the stove. Can you do that right? I don't think he can. That house is going to burn down. We talk about Brett Venables. People do not realize how good of a coordinator, how good of a position coach, how valuable Brett Venables is. Do you know how many times a team has any team with Brett Venables as a position or coordinator, as a position coach or coordinator, has ever missed a bowl game?
Not one.
Not once. Brett Venables is Brett Venables is what the Cardinals thought Cliff Kingsbury was going to be. He actually is a genius. He actually is.
So he was just waiting for the perfect job to be the head coach, or
I think that it was just one of those moments where he looked up and he said, "It's time. I've done everything I can accomplish here. I need a new challenge." Because he realized he was going to be the best defensive coordinator in the nation. And I'm saying this as an NC State guy who loves Gibson. Gibson is a really good defensive coordinator. I think that Freeman up at Notre Dame, a very good defensive coordinator, even though we shouldn't talk about them because they're not part of the ACC. But Freeman, a hell of a coordinator. Brent Venables knew, I'm going to be the best coordinator. Every year I'm a coordinator. This is who I am.
I need a new challenge.
Exactly. When Justin Fields threw what was it? He threw one or two interceptions all year, something crazy like that. One of the interceptions he threw was to Isaiah Simmons, who now plays Mike and rush linebacker, who was covering a deep half of the field. To have the mental propensity to put that together as a coordinator, this man, the concept that he came up with, get me fired up. In what world should Clemson be the favorite? I wouldn't be mad at Wake Forest being the favorite. They're the defending champs. They're the big dogs.
Go back. Wait.
Atlantic.
Yes, let's go back for a second, though. So basically what you're saying is, to round out the conversation, Clemson doesn't have the same tools as they once did. And that's from a leadership standpoint in order to be even considered for the ACC champions.
I'll tell you this, and that's absolutely what I'm saying. At the end of the day, when we look at the run that Clemson has had, can you name the Clemson quarterbacks who have won conference championships there?
Trevor Lawrence. Deshaun Watson. What's my boy's name? I'm looking right at his face on ACC Network. You know who I'm talking about.
Taj Boyd.
Yes. I'm sure has he won?
Those are the reasons. I want to say Taj Boyd won one. I could be wrong there. I believe Taj Boyd won one. But at the end of the day, all three of those guys were exceptional college talents. Each and every one of them. They no longer have.
Maybe Kelly Bryant. Did Kelly Bryant win one? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm being ugly.
I mean, I feel like if he was a starter, he had to. If he was
at one point wasn't he a starter at one point?
But I feel like Trevor took his spot. I feel like Trevor took his spot, and that's what made him go to Mizzou. But either way,
that's true. But he started at some point.
But either way, either way, if you tell me what Kelly put out on tape and what DJ is putting out on tape, come on now.
So basically what we're telling me is Big Cinco ain't got it.
Big Cinco is Little Cinco. He could be Big Cinco, Big Ocho, Big Trace, Big Dose, Big Once. Don't matter. He don't come up big. That arm ain't coming up big, which means that Clemson's chances are going to come up small going into this season.
You're too big, though, to have a bad arm, and that's what's frustrating, right? And also the pressure of just being a Clemson quarterback is clearly real. We obviously understand what he's coming behind. But if there was ever a year where it was show and prove for DJ, this is definitely the year.
I disagree. I think last year was the year for show and prove.
I don't think it was last year because I think at the end of the day, the boy was still trying to figure himself out. He had a really good game against Notre Dame when he had to come in for Trevor. was all that COVID stuff. Then you have a year to really kind of get under your belt. Everyone's not great their freshman year. I think we don't give enough grace to people to actually get better and improve. But this to me is the year.
But remember, that was not his freshman year. His freshman year was the year he came in and off the bench to fill in for Trevor Lawrence at Notre Dame.
But I
That was his
mean,
freshman
okay,
year.
but I mean, okay, freshman year, first year as a
First year
starter.
starter.
Okay.
Okay. I you know what? Here's the thing. You can give grace for that, but
Mhm.
I won't. We're talking about betting here. We're not talking about in a world of feel goods and feelings and all that. Sure, we can give a year for, whoops a daisy and all that good stuff. When you're
Not
talking
whoops.
betting, you're talking money on the line. If somebody told you right now, Candace, Clemson versus the field, who you taking?
I'm
For the
definitely
ACC
taking the
championship?
field. And
Okay.
let me tell you why. All right, guys, summer is coming, and with summer, you're going to need some food on the go. Built Bar is the best snack to take on family vacations. Throw in some for your bags, your kids' backpacks. If you got kids, if you got friends, add some Built Bars to the mix. The best part about Built Bars, they're healthy and delicious. No more sacrificing food for health. With Built Bar, you can have both, and it's easy. All you have to do is go to built.com and order right now. Built Bars are 100% covered in real chocolate. Favorite flavors can include cherry Garcia. Sometimes you can get a little mint brownie action. Sometimes banana cream pie if you're into those puffs. Built Bars contain 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, 4 net carbs, and 17 grams of protein. Go to built.com, get all of your favorites: banana cream pie, raspberry, double chocolate, and so many more. They're delicious, and new flavors are coming out all the time. Go to build.com, use promo code LOCK15 and get 15% off your order. Again, using promo code LOCK15 for 15% off at built.com. So we're rocking and rolling with Kenton Gibbs of Locked On Wolfpack. Clearly a very spirited conversation when it comes to talking about who will win the ACC. Out the gate, BetOnline is having us feel like Clemson will do it. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, but let's talk about the fact that Miami has 5-1 odds to win at number 2 sitting here. And I'm thinking Tyler Van Dyke, when you're talking about quarterback conversations, I err on the side of feeling like TVD got more opportunities than DJ right now. I'm feeling better about him, and I don't even think he has as good of weapons as Clemson does.
I think that the big thing for that Miami team is how are they going to adjust under Mario Cristobal's system? They say that the team takes the temperament of the coach. Cristobal is a Miami guy. You know what I mean? I was surprised by him leaving Oregon to take this job, but it seems like Oregon must be one of the most undesirable coaching jobs there can be because everybody is running out of there as soon as they get a chance to get up out of there. But with that said, I really and truly do wonder what will the weapons look like in year 2. What will this team do in year 2 under Tyler Van Dyke and his first year really having the entire spring where he's the leader of the offense? Those are the questions that come up for me. But because they're in the a coastal that, I mean, traditionally hasn't been great and I think is headed for a really down year, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, that's a shocker. Not shocked at all that you would say that. Then we've got Pittsburgh sitting at 9-1 odds and NC State, followed by North Carolina between 10-1 odds and 11-1 odds, respectfully. So that's the upper tier, upper echelon of where BetOnline feels like where the cookie will crumble when it comes to ACC championship odds for this season. I feel like Pittsburgh is a very interesting 9-1 odds there because Slovis is going to be the new quarterback. Obviously, they were a young team. They were reloading. Their defense wasn't figuring it out all the time when it came to last season, but maybe they've gotten better now. I think that the fact you don't have Jordan Addison in the pocket makes me question whether or not you are a true contender because they need to iron out those details, but curious as to what you think.
So wait, is Jordan Addison going or no? Because I'm hearing that he's at USC. I'm hearing that I'll tell you this much. Jordan Addison is going to be the key piece to whether or not I think they have a shot in the Coastal. Because I'm not really ready to name them the outright winner. I'm not really ready to say that. I wouldn't be surprised if they won it. I think that them and Miami could be a neck and neck situation. But with that being said, my question for Pitt is Addison coming back or no? Because the word on the street And I am not going to say that I'm plugged into these talks and have the information firsthand, but just what I've been hearing a lot has been $3 million in a house in Southern California. Now, if anybody knows anything about the housing market in California, if that house is any bigger than a shoebox, that's another
3
800,000
million
to
ain't
a
gonna hold
million.
him that much. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's another 800,000 to a million on that deal. So really, you're looking at 4 million in value there that I'm
But who
hearing.
pay? Okay, but who's paying on the home? Because it ain't just you. Oh, hey, you get a house. Like who paying the taxes on that?
Well, I mean, if he gets 3 million, I'm guessing they would expect him to pay the taxes on that home.
And see, that's why he need to keep his butt right there in Pittsburgh. 1, 2. I feel like people should take a page out of Zay Flowers' book and stay loyal to the soil. Like clearly, you've had a breakout season with some argue mediocre at best quarterback in Kenny Pickett. You have Slovis here.
Kenny Pickett is a good college quarterback. He's a very good college quarterback. I'll give him that.
All right.
I give him
Okay.
a good college.
It took him 4 years to be a great. Okay.
Now that's
cool,
the thing.
cool,
Listen,
cool,
I can say that
cool,
about Kenny
cool,
Pickett. Last
cool.
time I said something about Kenny Pickett, they darn near took out my mama. So I'm leaving Kenny Pickett alone. Hey, Pitt Nation, y'all see this? This ain't me. This ain't me this time.
Anyway, Slovis to Addison could be a great combination. I just feel like you're looking at a shiny new toy, running with it, and you're saying, okay, I got Blitnikoff with Pittsburgh. What could I possibly do at a place like USC? Which, again, if you like the flash, if you like the glitz and the glam, to me, I just want to hear my name called, when Roger Goodell gets on the stage. I don't care where it is. If I know I'm having success somewhere. Now, his wide receivers coach did leave. There's a lot of moving parts. I'll say all that to say his wide receivers coach is in Texas. So maybe that's why that's a factor.
To me, he's the big
He's X factor.
And USC has a lot of pieces with Caleb Williams going over there, with Jerry Rice's kid going over there, which, by the way, he's a really good player in his own right. Brendan Rice is a good enough player. He's not good enough to not be Jerry Rice's son anymore, but he's a good player. Like, you know what I mean? So, but at the end of the day, I'll say this. Addison is the key piece over there. If he comes back, they're the defending champs for a reason. It wasn't just Kenny Pickett lighting everybody up for 50 and that defense just being around being slouches. Like that's what Narduzzi's specialty is. That's what Narduzzi's specialty is. So
all right, so we're gonna land the plane with talking about NC State. So as I talk about this final fifth person, let's talk about North Carolina here real quick. Who have 11-1 odds to win, and then I'll let you have an entire segment on NC State and making the case for why they probably are going to win the ACC. So North Carolina, clearly they're finding a new quarterback. Maybe it's Drake May, maybe it's Jacoby Criswell. Maybe this defense is going to have something really good now that Mr. Chizik is back. Maybe Dre Bly has got the magic stuff with this secondary and Tony Grimes and company and Storm Duck. So, I think it's been nice. I think what Mac Brown is trying to do for the program has been great. The recruiting is excellent. I'm ready to get past the recruiting. I need delivery. I need execution. We're past the ideation stage. We're past the fluff stage. You can no longer blame the media for hyping you. You're not going to find yourself in top 10 this season, going into the season. Let's be honest. So now that you don't have the hype, can you be the underdogs and want to prove people wrong and be consistent in wanting to prove people wrong? That's the biggest question for me, for Carolina. Don't be ugly. I ain't got time today.
All I wanted to ask is this. What did y'all see that made you think that this UNC team would be better than last year's? What did y'all see?
Are you talking about? Well, I mean, I think at the end of the day, you think about the defense and the fact that, again, they're letting go of Jay Bateman and they're thinking that was the issue. And so having Chizik back, they're thinking that he's going to be able to solve the problem because when Chizik was here, they had one of the best defenses in the country. Like that's on paper statistically. So they're thinking, okay, now you're trying to bring back people of old and make sure the machine gets run a little bit better. And now you're good to go. Now, you say all that, and then you're thinking, okay, Brian Anderson's still here. He has another year at center. Who is that quarterback going to be? Drake May? Maybe. Jacoby Criswell's been there that long and has never been in a competition with Sam Howell. So I don't know. But a lot of guys sit there and wait for their turn. Mitch Trubisky did it, and look how that got. I mean, got him a first-round draft pick. You can argue why that was ridiculous, but hey, this is what it is. So we know that's a very important position. Ty Chandler being gone is going to be interesting, but British Books staying around, that could definitely help the case. Then you got Josh Downs. You can't knock the kid who is arguably one of the best receivers in the conference.
I'll say this: if Addison leaves, Josh Downs is Charleston Rambo when entered the NFL draft, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he'll be the best receiver in the conference, hands
What
down.
about Will Shipley? No.
Bart,
Okay.
he'll be
Okay.
the best receiver in the draft.
Okay.
I mean, in the ACC, hands down, bar none. Josh Downs is a bad boy. He is electric. He is amazing. There are not enough good adjectives to describe him. He is
Sure.
an elite route runner. He does everything well.
A.T. Perry is also still here. I'm just saying.
A.T. Perry is really good. He is. He is.
When
He
he doesn't
is.
push off, he's a good boy.
Yeah,
He's a
I was
bad
about to
boy.
say he's good, but they finally start calling those push-offs on him late.
They did and
You in
will.
trouble. You in trouble. The book is out on your push-out, AT. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. But Josh Downs to me, bad man. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Mhm.
Who gonna get that bad man the ball? Number one. Number two, if defenses can bracket you and say, oh, they'll run the cute little double tackle fold runs and all that, but like, what will that amount to? Like, yes, it's a cute play. Yes, all your RPOs are adorable. What are you gonna do with it? I want to know. They say that there are no such thing as real life superheroes or supervillains, and nobody has superpowers. Mac Brown got to have some type of hypnosis going on every year. I believe it. Every year, because every year I look at you and see, I say, what is this?
I mean, he's one of the best snake oil salesmen in the business. You saw him on Friday Night Lights when he had the whole 2 episodes, and they were trying to get old buddy to go ahead and send the boys to Texas. Like,
I'll
let's
tell you
be
what,
honest.
if that was real life, he would have worked some of that snake oil salesman and Smash Williams would have been a Longhorn, because this here, I cannot believe it. We just watched the best quarterback in the history of the school. I think that's fair to say, right?
Mm-hmm.
The quarterback that owns every record, all that you can name. Their best offensive lineman got drafted before that guy, by the way. And two of their offensive linemen got drafted, which is
one got drafted before him, and then one got drafted the same round as him.
Mm-hmm. To see two of those offensive linemen get drafted is a modern marvel, but that's another story for another time. But that's what I mean. What is Mac Brown doing to you people?
But honestly, is that not what you want? I would rather have a coach who can sell me a bill of goods, who at least is gonna get me a shot. I mean, shoot, let's stop playing.
Give me a Dave Clawson. Nobody ever believes in Dave Clawson, but when he shows up,
oh my God, I cannot stand. That's a good point, though. I ain't mad. We're gonna talk about another Dave here in just a second, because he said that you guys have the best quarterback in the country. Our BetOnline partners have already got the conversations nice and spicy for us, which we love to see. But if you want to find all the latest odds, news, and sports developments, including this year's basketball playoffs, Major League sports scores, fights, and even next season's NLF futures, you need to head to BetOnline. It is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all of your favorite sports action, whether you want esports, live betting, playoffs, or more. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. BetOnline is where the game starts. So as I mentioned, Kenton Gibbs on the mic, Locked on Wolfpack podcast. We are going to make sure that he gets an opportunity to tell us why this 10-1 odds for NC State to win the ACC is honestly blowing smoke, because I feel like NC State might be the best team in the ACC. Why BetOnline got you down bad right now?
I'll say this. NC State is known for underperforming whenever people believe in them. That's the problem. That's why that is what it is. And rightfully so, right? We all know about the NC State stuff. Yeah. We know how it goes.
Yeah.
But let me say this. This team had one of the best defenses in the nation. Do you know how many starters they're returning?
All of them.
10 out of 11.
How about
10 out of 11.
Yeah.
The offense. This offense is returning virtually everybody out wide except Emeka Emezi. Offensive line wise, we just got Big Chan back. So we got everybody on offensive line back except Big Ick, who, don't get me wrong, his impact cannot be understated. He was the first offensive player taken in this draft for good reason.
Yeah.
For good reason.
Yeah.
With that being said, this NC State team has more than enough. Now, Coach Doran saying that he has the best quarterback in the nation. Hey, listen, that's like
Devin Leary. Yeah, I'm just saying.
That's like saying that my old lady is the prettiest, right? Like, everybody's got to say it. You've got to say it, okay?
You need to walk that one right on back.
I'm just saying. I'm telling you the truth. I don't care. Your old lady could look like a foot. She could have a face that if you put it in cookie dough to make gorilla cookies. You know what you got to say anyway? My old lady, the prettiest thing I'd never
Does your old lady look like a foot?
No, my old lady don't look like a foot. Don't worry. This ain't about me. This ain't about me.
I was just making sure.
Even if she did, guess what I get up here and say? She's the prettiest thing. You got to be the prettiest. That's what that is, okay? That's what you got to do. But with that,
so you think Dave Jordan doesn't believe that Devin Leary is the best quarterback in the country?
Now that's where I was just going with this. Devin Leary is one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. The best? Hold on now. That kid from Alabama is pretty good. Now that Bryce Young kid is all right now. He's all right. But
so are we at the point, excuse me to cut you off, but are we at the point now that we're putting COVID stuff behind us and this is kind of really where we can have the year of judging everyone's talents and abilities?
No, we should have had that year last year. Last year was the year. Who got sat out for extended periods of time for COVID last year? Who?
This is facts. But I was just saying, we let people shake things off kind of last year. So that's why you're so hard on DJ. That's what if we're doing the DJ Devin comparison and we're talking about ACC champions here. Is NC State going to take down Clemson yet again for 2 times in a row here?
So they got to go to Death Valley to do it. That's going to be the tough part.
But they've got a senior leader in Devin Leary, so why not them?
Here, I was just about to say, here's the problem. It's like what they said on 300. If you can make a god bleed, they will cease to believe in them. They made and pardon my French here. I know we in the Bible Belt. I'm not saying that Clemson is God, y'all. That's not, I go to church. That ain't what I'm saying. But I'm saying that they were the big dogs of the ACC. They were the impeccable North Star of the ACC. Last year they bled bad. The Sharks are in the water. They're coming. They're circling. They're circling. And now that air of superiority, that fear that teams have playing Clemson, it's gone.
So Clemson's a non-factor?
I'm not saying Clemson's a non-factor. I think that they still have a good chance to win it.
Not even worth participating.
Don't get me wrong. They have a chance of winning. But what I'm saying is nobody is going to be terrified. They're not going to see that helmet and say, oh, man, yeah, go ahead and mark that as an L. Go ahead.
Why should Clemson even come to play? I mean, they're obviously not that good.
That is not what I said. See, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. I said they still have a chance. I'll tell you, if that Cade kid, I'm a Pistons fan. I love me some Cade right now. If that Cade kid from out in Texas is everything that they say he is and he takes DJ's spot, the ACC could be in trouble. I could be saying, Alexa, play dance.
Okay.
But with that being said, when I'm talking about NC State, you're talking about a defense that is loaded and returning everybody. You're talking about an offense that receiving core-wise, all of those players from about 1 through 6 or 7 have all made big plays and big moments. Anthony Smith is one of the most underrated players in the conference, and I am guaranteeing you, if he plays a good amount of the time for NC State this year, the rest of the nation, not just the conference, the nation will be put on notice.
Devin Carter's coming back, right?
Yeah, Devin Carter, Thayer Thomas, but people know what they are, though. People know what they are, and that's the only reason I want to talk about Anthony Smith. Okay, well, Devin Carter is a guy who is a big body. He can fly. He can make the big play. He needs to make the mundane play. Thayer Thomas is athletic. He is a guy who is going to make all of the catches underneath. He does not have a problem with concentration drops. You know what you're getting out of Thayer Thomas. He has certain limitations that you know what they are, but he's going to maximize everything that he is. And then you've got the Keon Lasanes of the world and all that, the guys who they can be.
Okay, I didn't need you to run down your whole roster. Go ahead. Anthony Smith's going to be good too. Okay, wrap it up.
Anthony Smith had big plays on special teams and big plays on offense. I am telling you, whenever he's on the field, he's primetime TV. You got to watch him. So with that being said, Anthony Smith's speed with the combination of Devin Leary's deep ball ability, this team has what it takes. If they can get some production out of that backfield, if Jordan Houston can step up and be a true running back number 1, if I'll tell you this, if Jordan Houston goes for 1,000 yards, 1,000 total yards, and if Devin Carter has a big season as well, I am guaranteeing it. NC State's going to win the conference. Those are 2 guys. If they have big seasons, NC State will win the conference. I'm guaranteeing it.
Now, is NC State going to be in the college football playoff conversation? You hold that thought and think about that. We'll talk about it on next week's episode. You see how I left some meat on the bone? You like that?
Mhm.
You like that?
Keep them coming back. Keep them coming back. My pretty face ain't enough to do it, so got to keep them coming.
Oh, my Lanta. Kenton Gibbs, it's always a pleasure to have you here on the show. Can you please remind these folks of where they can find you, follow your work?
Now listen, I got on YouTube and y'all got my views looking ashy. Y'all got my views looking very unmoisturized now. But you can find me wherever you finding this, including on YouTube, at Locked On Wolfpack. Okay, put some shea butter, put some cocoa butter, put some Jergens on my views. It need to be moisturized. All right, wherever you are listening to this, wherever you are watching this, you can find me at Locked On Wolfpack. Okay.
Now she got ashy views. We don't want
Ashley,
anybody in the
Ashley.
ACC to have ashy views, especially if they're going to be the ACC champions. But guys, make sure you come back each and every day. We'll have further conversations as we roll through the week, talking about the odds, talking about football, basketball, and all in between. And for Candace Cooper and Ken Gibbs, until next time.